My name definitely Safani still, and this show is called the Kwame Nkrumah Show. I want you guys to know that the reason we are suffering in Africa is the fact that Africa has been recolonized again. Africa is the only country in the world that gained her independence and lost the independence back to the colonizers. This is what you don't understand. That is what we don't understand as Africans. Today, ask yourself, I live in Ghana. In my country, Ghana, we have cocoa, we have coffee, we have diamond, we have manganese, we have bauxite, we have iron ore. Trust me, based on the natural resources that we have in Ghana, every Ghanaian is supposed to be given, $100,000 in a month. If Ghana happened to be an Arab country or a European country, the Ghanaian wouldn't go to work. No Ghanaian should have been going to work, all right? Every Ghanaian should have been paid, all right? You understand? But the fact that we are back to colonization, the colonizers still controlling our natural resources in Africa. And the modern African leaders are highly corrupted. So they will not tell you this is what is going on. Because if should they tell you the truth, should they tell you what they do behind the carpet or behind the curtains with the colonizers, we will fight both of them together. That is why they will not tell you we are being colonized. Today, the European Union makes $100 billion annually from Ghana's cocoa. All right? Ghana makes only $1 billion in a year from Ghana's cocoa. Tell me, if this is not slavery, then what is it? Today, Ghana has gone to the IMF to borrow $3 billion to run the economy. You go to the same person who has been stealing 100 billion every year from your own cocoa just to borrow $3 billion to run your economy. And even that money, giving you that money is even difficult. This is the reality here. By the time the $3 billion get to Ghana, they have already deducted 50%, taxation from the same amount. The whole world will know that or will hear that Ghana has been given $3 billion, but they have deducted 50% taxations from the same $3 billion. All right? In my country, Ghana, today we have oil. Ghana drills close to 80,000 barrels of oil every blessed day. All right? The oil that we have, Ghana owns only 1% of the oil, productions. We have gold in Ghana. Ghana is the fifth largest producer of gold in the world, and the number one largest producer of gold in Africa. Today, the gold we get in Africa, in Ghana, Ghana have only 6% of the outcome. We have iron ore, we have manganese, we have bauxite, we have lithium, we have every natural resources is in Ghana. But yet Ghana is still one of the poorest countries in Africa because we have been recolonized. So for us to actually fight for economical freedom, there is the need for us to fight for, economical slavery first, because we are back to colonization. We are back. Look at it this way. In Ghana, there is an EU ambassador situated in Ghana. There is EU ambassadors all over every African country. All right? Because why should we have EU ambassadors more than EU ambassador? We should have only one EU ambassador. And that ambassador is supposed to be situated at Ethiopia, where the capital or where the national or the regional office of African Union is situated. Why must we in Ghana here we have the EU ambassador in Ghana? We have EU ambassador all over every country, ambassadors in every country in Africa. Because they are telling you EU is one country. And the modern African leaders are stupid enough to recognize that EU is not a country, but a union. So the EU will not trade with any African union, the African Union. All right? They will not. So EU will single out one tiny country like Ghana, for instance, and trade with you. All right? The demands because they are in a union, EU is made up of 20 countries. So if over 20 countries are team up to deal with a one tiny nation like Ghana, that is ruled by foolish leaders, of course. How do you think they can actually, that our foolish leaders can actually deal with them in a way that they're supposed to deal with them? They can't. All right. So when they are done stealing from you with the single face of European Union, when they go to Europe, then they share what they have stolen among themselves. I don't think $100 billion is any little money for any country. And we lost the $100 billion to Europe from our own cocoa. The reason we lose this 100 billion every year is the fact that we don't process our cocoa any longer. Today, when we actually harvest the cocoa, instead of processing them in Tema, we rather would take it, on raw materials to Europe and elsewhere. So how do you think everything we have in this country, the white man owns more than Ghana? We don't even own up to 6%, 10% of any natural resources that we have in Ghana. Everything have to go to Europe and Asia. So there is the need for us to fight back. Let us begin the call now. Let us begin the revolution now. No. There's no time to waste.